What's up with the squad? Back with another video. Y'all seen the titles going out. Make sure you hit the like button, hit that subscribe button for me, please. Y'all see it in the title. Definitely getting pretty crazy. I got on X, today, this morning, and been a lot of talk. My thing is that when it comes to the left, they continue to, this inciting violence, this disrespect. They want to bash Trump's name, Trump administration constantly, but do nothing when it comes to American U.S. citizens, women getting fed, children, or you got the elders, troops getting paid, fed, but more so putting the illegals first. And I can't stand that. You have it here, Karoline Leavitt. Says President Trump and Republicans want the government reopened immediately. Federal workers are missing paychecks, flights are being delayed and canceled, and our economy may be hurting because the Democrats want the government to stay shut down. And the reason on why, and I'm sure y'all know, a lot of this is to, point the finger, have somebody to blame when it's their doing. Obviously, a lot of people aren't paying attention. A lot of people don't pay attention to the important things. They pay attention, what's on the mainstream media or, these little clips that y'all see here and there. Those are things that people pay attention to, and they know they pay attention to them, and it's sad. And that's why I strive every day, to like I say, get these videos out and, get it out there, get this information out because it's definitely important. Check it out.
Karoline, let me come back to the shutdown if I could, because the Democrats have been saying, look, they will only pass a continuing resolution if it includes an extension of the Obamacare enhanced tax credits in it. Well, Senator John Thune has held out an offer to the Democrats saying, we'll give you a vote on those tax credits if you agree to reopen the government. Here's what he said a short time ago.
I've said we are willing to have the conversation. I've said if you need a vote, we can guarantee you get a vote by a date certain. So I can't guarantee it's going to pass. I can guarantee you that there will be a process and you will get a vote.
Don't forget, it was the Democrats who initially voted to sunset these enhanced Obamacare tax credits in the Inflation Reduction Act. They are designed to sunset at the end of December of this year. Do you expect the Democrats will or won't take the leader up on his offer?
Well, we certainly hope so, because the president and the White House's position on this Democrat shutdown has not changed. All they need to do is vote to reopen the government. That is all we are asking for. That's all Republicans want. We want to reopen the government, get people back to work, get people paid. And the Democrats are just so selfishly using politics to shut down the government and hold the entire country hostage. We now have thousands of flights across the country that have been delayed and canceled because air traffic controllers and TSA agents are not getting paid through this shutdown. President Trump had to tap into tariff revenue to get WIC money out the door for vulnerable women, infant, and children. President Trump in the White House used a creative solution to get our troops paid. The president is bending over backwards to do what's right by the American people, and the Democrats are continuing to play partisan politics. We hope every day that sensible Democrats with just a little bit of courage to stand against Bernie Sanders and AOC, who, according to the CNN town hall last night, are clearly the new leadership of the Democrat Party, stand against that radical nonsense and vote to reopen the government. And then we can have serious conversations about health care, about immigration, about our economy. That's what this administration wants to do. President Trump wants to fix our broken health care system. That's why he's had a number of announcements with major drug companies to bring down the cost of prescriptions and pharmaceutical drugs in this country for American consumers. He's more than committed to talking about that. But first, we must reopen the government. And it's deeply unfortunate Democrats voted today for the 10th time to shut down the government for the 16th day in a row.
Caroline, appreciate that. Can you provide?
I'm telling y'all, it's definitely a shame that they're continuing to do this. They're seeing who this is hurting. And it just goes to show you that they're putting, illegal aliens first. And it's definitely sad. We talked about, troops, not getting paid. They obviously are putting, and again, I've told y'all, I've got family members that's in the military, friends, good friends that's in the military right now. And just seeing, them making posts and, different things about it is literally going to show you that so many people are continuing to see and notice, what the Democratic Party is doing. I mean, I'm telling y'all. I showed y'all this yesterday. Literally says U.S. troops have now received their pay this week. War Department official confirms to me. Trump and Haig said follow through. This is despite Chuck Schumer's efforts to block our heroes from being paid. Thanks to President Trump's leadership, service members received their mid-month salary, and their leave earning statements are now available in My Pay, the official says. But then again, says here, Karoline Leavitt sums Democrats aiming to sue President Trump over this creative solution to help troops paid while the government remains shut down. So not only that, and that, Trump, actually made something happen to, in order. And this again is not only, getting the troops paid. Obviously these troops, man or female, man or woman, they male or female, man or woman, just thinking of that, they have families as well. So it's very important, and it people got to realize that. That's what I've been trying to tell people, this whole time. Okay, the troops, man, listen, troops, these troops have families. They have families. And I just hate it for them. I definitely do. Check it out, more of Karoline Leavitt.
The president found a creative solution to keep the troops paid, and rather than congratulate the president for doing that, this unprecedented action to get our troops paid, the Democrats want to sue him for it. They're saying that it's illegal. This just shows they don't care about the people who are hurting. They are shutting down the government purely for partisan politics because they don't like Donald Trump.
That's obviously what it is, and it's one of those things. I get on here every day, every other day. And I always say this. A lot of these things that they're doing, when you talking to this person, that person, a lot of them just don't like Trump. They never say, what Trump actually does. They always say they just don't like Trump. They say these lies, he's this, he's that, and can't really give any factual information, about President Trump. And I'm telling you, I've always said this. I actually just said this to Chris today. I literally told her, and I said, because it was this clip. I forgot what the clip was, but I seen it, today when I got on X. And I literally just said, I'd rather have somebody real in the White House. Meaning by real is speaking, just like he, one of us. Don't sit there and beat around the bush. Don't lie. Trump is a very straightforward man, and that's exactly who we need in the White House. And me personally, this is just my thoughts. I think that he's definitely the best president that's has stepped foot in the White House. But that's just me. That's my opinion. Says here, Democrats actually want to sue President Trump for not doing his job, making sure our troops get paid during their own government shutdown. Not only Karoline Leavitt and others are mad about this, but here it is, Mike Johnson.
Look, my understanding of this is they have every right to move the funds around, duly appropriated dollars from Congress to the Department of Defense. There were some R&D accounts that had not been spent, and that's my understanding is that's the money that's being used to pay the troops right now. If the Democrats want to go to court and challenge troops being paid, bring it, okay? I'm grateful for a commander-in-chief who understands the priorities of the country, the necessity of national defense, and the urgency that we all feel and have voted for 8 times. Republicans have voted in Congress 8 times now between House and Senate to fund the troops and pay federal workers in all these essential jobs and agencies, because we understand the necessity of that. Meanwhile, the Democrats voted 8 times to block their paychecks. Mm-hmm. I'm grateful we have a president who is willing to step up and do the right thing. Thank y'all so much.
And I'm grateful as well. I know y'all are too. I know y'all are. It's definitely important. Definitely important for this. Got it here. Says our troops are being paid this month only because President of the United States stepped in and redirected $8 billion from next year's defense research budget to cover their mid-month pay. Once that money is gone, paychecks stop, and Democrats will have no one to blame but themselves. So, again, these are things that are very important. These are things that's very important. Definitely gonna repost this like this because I try to get things spread out, things information out to individuals that actually don't pay so much attention to the things that they like I said they always pay attention to the headlines, to the things that's on the mainstream media. Trump is wrong for doing this. This is illegal. Illegal for what Trump. But then you look deeply into it and see, what he actually did and what Democrats actually did is very important for these things. And it's just sad, that people aren't paying attention to these things, and people definitely do. Check it out.
Look, this is doing real damage to our country. I mean, it's doing damage to everybody that we know. This costs the economy $15 billion a day worth of GDP production. We've got 330,000 furloughed Department of War civilians, and that has incredible impacts. And let's keep in mind, this payment of our troops, this is a one-shot thing. We don't get to do this again. Those funds aren't just sitting around. So we've got to figure something out. Democrats have to come to the table here and do the right thing.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Come on now. Got to do the right thing. Got to do the right thing. And unfortunately, they're not. All we can do is continue to pray and continue to do, what we can do, when it comes down to, these troops and these families, I'm telling y'all. But you got to hear more from Karoline Leavitt. Democrats are losing their minds over Karoline Leavitt, calling them out. The Democrat Party, Maine, and let me tell y'all something. One thing that I absolutely hate, the reason why I did this video is the simple fact of they when it comes to the left, they try everything they possibly could do to try to go after anybody that has to do something with Trump. Try and do everything they can to just be negative. They doing all this negativity. All talking crazy, getting on here saying this, saying that, but not doing anything when it comes to anything to negotiate, to work things out, calm things down, like nothing, not doing nothing. And people are slowly seeing that. I'm telling y'all, people are slowly seeing that. Check it out.
That the Democrat Party's main constituency are made up of Hamas, illegal aliens, and violent criminals. That is who the Democrat Party is catering to, not the Trump administration and not the White House and not the Republican Party, who is standing up for law-abiding Americans, not just across the country, but around the world.
Come on now. Laying down all the facts. Laying down all the facts about it. So, as Karoline Leavitt said that, you have Hakeem Jeffries calling her, and this just goes to show you on how childish Hakeem Jeffries is, that they have no leader, nobody, the face of the Democratic Party. They don't have that. When you think of the Democratic Party, and I've been doing this for a few years now, y'all, and me personally, I look at and I see, the simple fact of how I look, and I'm like, man, we start to see, who's on the right. We're seeing President Trump, obviously. You're seeing J.D. Vance, in there, and you're seeing different people pop up. You're seeing Byron Donalds doing this thing. I've been seeing, Ramaswamy. I've been seeing, different individuals. We can always, we always think of different individuals. When it comes to the left, and I'm not saying those, I've named, the face of, the Republican Party or anything like that, but you have an idea other than President Trump. When it comes to the Democratic Party, you don't know. It's out of control. Everybody is in different places. Everybody has something to say. Everybody, they're not all on one page when it comes to the Democratic Party. Check out what Hakeem Jeffries said about Karoline Leavitt.
It's a matter of deep concern. Like, we've already seen a rise in political violence and hatred in America. And then you've got swastikas apparently appearing in the offices of Republican members of Congress. You've got young Republicans engaging in the most anti-Semitic and racist speech possible. Like, this is apparently who many of these people are. They are ripping the sheets off in plain view of the American people. Their words, their actions, revealing themselves in so many different ways. And then you got Karoline Leavitt, who's sick. She's out of control. And I'm not sure whether she's just demented, ignorant, a stone cold liar, or all of the above.
So my thing is that what honestly makes you this just goes to show you that this is a little boy. That's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna be that disrespectful today. This just goes to show you that this is a little boy. This is not a man. Hakeem Jeffries ain't a man. Not to me. To sit here and call a woman out of her name because she's speaking facts on something. And you calling the woman out of her name, calling her sick, demented, just saying different things, all because you hurt that obviously his party is hurt. They don't have no leader. He's not a leader. A person that does this and talks about an individual, talk down, to all the way, to Karoline Leavitt, because she's speaking facts, her being a press secretary and doing what's needed. Don't let me get started on the last press secretary. I forgot her name. Kareem Sapir, whatever her name was. Don't let me get started. Beat around the bush. Beat around the bush was a person. It'd definitely be her. I'm telling y'all. Pretty sure her name was Kareem. Y'all know what I'm talking about. There's no leader.
But the notion that an official White House spokesperson would say that the Democratic Party consists of violent criminals and undocumented immigrants, this makes no sense. That this is what the American people are getting from the Trump administration in the middle of a shutdown. So their actions continue to speak for themselves, which is why they're on the wrong side of public sentiment. Thanks.
Just ignorant. He got the nerve to call somebody ignorant and sick. Literally talking about himself. Says Hakeem Jeffries continues to defend that hate America protest the Democratic Party has planned for Saturday. Democrats are rallying for one thing only. It's illegals. Democratic Party uses them to cheat in elections census. That's a fact. Check out what this clown has said right here.
The notion that the No Kings rallies is anything other than a patriotic act consistent with the First Amendment right to express yourselves and petition the government for a change in policy continues to reveal that Republicans are clueless as it relates to the Constitution of the United States of America, or they continue to lie for political reasons. Right? There's nothing more patriotic in America than expressing yourself, particularly when it comes to expressing yourself in a peaceful manner related to disagreements that you have with government. Because this is an American experiment in democracy that's anchored in representative government.
Why does he talk like that, y'all? Am I the only ones that notice he talk like a robot a little bit?
Of the people, by the people, and for the people. Over the last 5-6 weeks, we've heard all manner of toxic and malignant rhetoric from Republicans as opposed to actually addressing the problems that they've created.
And now it's problems that they've created. It's not problems that they've created when, it's honestly common sense. I feel like at this point, this is just something that they're doing to point the finger, to make it seem like the Trump administration, people aren't buying it no more. I truly feel like people aren't buying it anymore. I know for a fact, come next election, come next election and the years after that, term after that, I know for a fact, y'all think that President Trump and the Kamala, that whole, election was something. So many people are turning away from the Democratic Party. It is actually amazing. I'm not even gonna lie. It is actually amazing seeing it. I feel like I've seen it last year. Obviously, President Trump running in against Kamala, and seeing it, with my own eyes, like this is actually pretty tight. Seeing this, seeing people actually realize. But I feel like from then to now, there are so many people that are realizing what's real. And y'all know I'm not, I don't always, bring race, into it. But at the same time, it's more so of it's more so of, how do I put this? More and more black and brown, individuals are turning away from being so brainwashed from individuals speaking like this man right here. I'm telling y'all. This video right here, I definitely had, since we're talking about, this rally that they're having. This is Paulina Luna. I'm pretty sure I said her name right. If I didn't, I apologize. But this woman is amazing. After watching, I watched this whole 1:58-second video. And when I tell y'all that this woman is amazing, I definitely feel like this is my first time hearing her. That's the thing. This is my first. I'm pretty sure I've seen her before, but this is my first time hearing her. And when I say that this right here is a mic drop, this is a mic drop. Check it out.
And they're not about immigrants. If they did, they would have been protesting under Barack Obama, who's also dubbed the deporter-in-chief. And frankly, I think many of you would say that Barack Obama was a good president. Are you going to say that Barack Obama wasn't a good president? Yes or no, Governor Walz? Do you think he was a good president?
Do I think Barack Obama was a good president? I think he did a good job.
Okay, how about you, Governor Pritzker?
I think he did a good job. Yes.
Hochul?
Hochul, and yes, he did do a good job.
Okay, next. Perryman?
I think President Obama did a good job.
So then you would understand that Barack Obama had the very same policies for the most part on immigration that Republicans are parroting today, and yet you guys are sitting here saying that we're Gestapo. And what I would tell you is that what happens with open borders is that the real people that are coming here, the ones that are exploited, actually it hurts people on both sides, not just Americans, but the illegals. Some of you had said here to the actual committee that you are doing what you can to assist these people. But what I would say is that your policies aren't actually done from a place of understanding and sympathy. I would say that it's actually doing the exact opposite. And when you use brown people, just like they use black people with BLM and Marxists during BLM to usher that in, when you use brown people and you put Mexican flags with them saying that you stand up for illegal immigrants, but you follow the money and it's going back to the Communist Party, what you're essentially doing is using your platform as elected officials, the trust that the American people have put in you, essentially to usher in communism. You're not actually fighting for American values. Don't roll your eyes because it's a serious topic and that's where the money's coming from.
Don't roll your eyes because this is a serious topic. Putting her in the play. This is when it comes to when I'm talking about a leader. A leader putting that that childish person in their place right there. Don't roll your eyes. This is a serious topic, and that right there just goes to show you on how childish when it comes to the left, how they are. That literally just goes to show you right there. Don't roll your eyes. This is a serious topic. That's what y'all need to focus. Realize what's going on. This is a serious topic. Come on,
actually fighting for American values. Don't roll your eyes because it's a serious topic and that's where the money's coming from. So now I'm informing you, so now you guys can make your decisions, but please be informed, sir, Mr. Walz, that if you truly do uphold the American ideologies and perspectives on the Constitution, you should not be speaking at that rally. I've given you the correct information, and as of right now, I've authorized a letter to be sent to my office to the President of the United States to rescind millions of dollars in funding that we know are going to the No Kings protests that were authorized and basically given under the last administration. That is what Congress is supposed to do, not point fingers, not blame people, but actually ensure that the American people are protected and not fighting for foreign interests, foreign governments, and also the communist.
Well, the gentlelady yield.
When I seen this video, I was like, oh yeah. This right here, I already knew. This is the one. I had to show y'all this video. And honestly, I was about to say it don't really, it's kind of random, but it's not random because, obviously this is, when it comes to this No Kings rally that they're having, I'm pretty sure tomorrow. What's today? Friday? Tomorrow, I believe. So when it comes down to that, it just goes to show you, when they all say that they think that Obama, was a good president, a great president, it just goes to show you. And I always say that, all the time. When it comes to, illegal aliens and stuff like that, like Barack Obama, like he didn't do anything. Like I just be so confused, seeing it myself. A lot of these things are because the hatred of President Trump. And it shows. It's definitely sad. Y'all got here. This is a post from Karoline Leavitt at PressSec. So y'all can go check that out if y'all want to. Hakeem Jeffries and the Democrats are lashing out because they know what I said is true. She says the Democratic Party's elected officials absolutely cater to pro-Hamas, to illegal aliens and violent criminals. House Democrats voted against the resolution condemning Hamas following the horrific October 7th attack, and Democrats cheered on pro-Hamas radicals. While they hijacked America's college campuses and harassed Jewish students, Democrats opened our borders and allowed tens of millions of illegal aliens into our country over the past 4 years, including because they view them as future voters. Which, I mean, again, she's speaking facts. Democrats, violent criminals, and support soft on crime policies like cashless bail that let violent offenders back on the streets to hurt law-abiding citizens. If y'all see my video yesterday, y'all would see, even in Chicago, a man got arrested 38 times, and because of Mayor Brandon Johnson and Governor Pritzker, they have that to where, you know, I think it's called catch and release, and it's very insane to me. I'm telling y'all, 38 times he keeps on going back to the same place and assaulting women. Make that make sense. So you have here, Karoline says, Democrats do not serve the interests of American people. Hakeem Jeffries is an America last stone cold loser. Now open up the government. Stop simping to try to get your left-wing base to like you. And I'm telling y'all, that right there just goes to show you. It goes to show y'all on how messed up, you know, these individuals are. They want you know, these left wingers, just like I played a video yesterday. Yesterday was really a banger with those videos. Make sure y'all go check them out. But I showed a video, y'all, and literally just went to show, you know, I think it was Stephen A. Smith. Make sure y'all check out the Stephen A. Smith video, please. And I seen it, you know, and he said, you know, when it comes to, you know, the left wing, and they're seeing a person like Jasmine Crockett, they want, you know, obviously somebody, you know, to seem ghetto, you know, into this person is like us, you know, and this person is, and those people, they don't pay attention, you know, to actually what's going on. They see a person that's obviously in Congress, probably don't even know she's a congresswoman, probably don't even know she's a congresswoman, but they look and they see this, you know, these different videos, you know, of her, you know, and she's being ghetto, talking ghetto, not even knowing her background, nothing. But just because she's a black woman, she speaks loud, she does this and does that. We but not even knowing nothing. And that's what I say is very important for me personally, you know, to put out these videos and do what I can, you know, to give, you know, more knowledge, you know, to individuals. Like I said, I'm new to this. I'm learning as I go. But one thing about it is that when it comes to these facts, you know, these factual things and things that's, you know, that's very true, you know, that's positive and things that need to get out, I'm gonna try my best. I'm telling y'all, I'm gonna try my best. I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep doing it, you know, as long as I can. I'm telling y'all, because this is something that's very important. It's very important, especially, you know, for this younger generation to pay attention to what's going on. I'm telling y'all. Make sure you hit the like button, hit that subscribe button. Definitely appreciate y'all. Much love, everybody. Catch y'all next one.